man and was educating his children to look down on them, despise and grind them underfoot at every chance. So he was like, this is an assault on us as a class, not just on railroad workers. And it roused the crowd. They decided they were going to seize the railroad depot at that time, and then they decided they would make it all of East St. Louis, so they shut down the entire railroad systems. Now in all of this, how do you do that? It's just not just strikers. It's women and children, people coming out of their homes in support of everybody on that line. And here is where the 1877 strikes gave an education for 50 years to the labor movement. Marching. You don't just call a strike. You don't limit it to the workers on strike, but you call out the entire community in support of your strike. So the next day, that was Sunday, July 22nd. On Monday, July 23rd, the Working Men's Party, which had about 1,000 members in St. Louis, as first socialist party in the country, called a meeting, and to their surprise, they got thousands of people. They didn't know what to expect. And they met at Turner Hall, which was sort of a gym, a coffee house, a meeting place for a lot of unions. They marched to Lucas Market, and at Lucas Market is where they made their stand. And it was in that space, in the taking of that space and saying, this is workers' space, that people started to talk to each other about what this was going to be about. It wasn't, again, just going to be about railroad workers. And it was in St. Louis that they really began to think differently about what they wanted. One of the speakers at that first rally said, I believe railroad monopolies today have no other object in view than to take the government into their possession and rule it for the next 50 years to come. So they were saying, we see the connection between economic power. It's not just magic that you're the richest person in the world, right? That the railroad industry was rich, got its riches by innovation or anything like that. It was by plunder. It was by the political power they held. So they saw the connection between political and economic power. And this one from another, I love this quote because you hear it across the years echoed by lots of labor figures. This man, just an ordinary worker, said, a man who stole a single rail is called a thief, while those who stole a railroad is called a gentleman, right? Now, Mother Jones, 30 years later, when she became a famous labor leader, she made a joke. She always made a joke at speeches that said, I met a man once in jail who had stolen a loaf of bread, and I asked him how he had gotten there. He said he had stolen a loaf of bread. I replied to him, if you had stolen a railroad, you'd be a U.S. Senator, right?